probably started with
This league started.
to my knowledge, it just got started one time when
The way I see the league come,
How did the league get started?
Hunt's Fantasy Football League got started.
With Rossi coming up to basically everyone asking if,
Hey, any of you guys ever played fantasy football before?
Sure, why not? With a bunch of friends. Should be some fun.
oh yeah,
I believe it was Kevin's 21st birthday, 20th, 22nd, 30th. I don't know. You can't tell his age. Sometimes he has a mustache. So it was a barbecue. Kevin's mother was cooking up some linguiça. I was sweating. It was a great time. A lot of people were there actually. This isn't like the beginning. This is like the fresh out of high school because they all went to Malden High and city high kids. They hang together for a while like rats. And so I asked a bunch. Basically, we had the biggest game of
wiffle ball.
Hey,
Hunt's camera shop.
Over in Malden/Melrose, wherever that is. And, it was like one of the first things that everybody would get together and do with each other. Because, we all hung out, some friends here, some friends there. But I think wiffle ball was where all the groups came together and started hanging out together. And then
Commissioner Jason Rossi.
Jason Rossi. Jason Rossi is a mastermind at creating stuff and making stuff happen.
And Rossi, he started showing up more and started getting closer with everybody. And I think it was at my birthday at a barbecue at my house. He came up with this great idea to get a fantasy football league started. And
A bunch of said yeah. So then he's like, oh yeah, well why don't we all do it and then see what we can do. And then just a bunch of people signed up, except for
Yours truly.
this one.
I think we just did it. I don't know. It was just kind of a thing, get a group of friends together and just, have something in between us,
So I got 11 other angry men, and we started up this league. And basically that was how the night where it all began, and I'm sure you'll be finding out a whole lot more of where it all went.
And I think there was a year when I wasn't even in the league because no one liked me apparently, and according to Billy, no one still likes me. So to be honest, I don't know how it started. I came a year after. You'd have to ask someone else that question.
And ever since then, it's been a big group of guys, just I guess living out their geek dreams. So pretty much that's it.
The league has been very tumultuous since its inception.
Well, a brief history of the league would be we all got together, $30 a person, then it evolved to $100 a person plus crazy league fees that Jason Rossi wanted. And it cost money to trade, all of a sudden $2 per trade. And people came and went. Joe came and went because of personal issues. It's weird, I don't know.
The first year, I think it was just, obviously it was our inaugural year. I think everyone was just feeling it out. I know I, for one, didn't know too much about the statistical part of the game at the time, and I assume that a lot of the others didn't either. But we got a feel for the league that year. We got to know each other all a lot better.
Well, after the league got started, the first year was an absolute mess. People didn't know anything about football. Half the people didn't know what was going on.
First year was just a lot of people just rookies. First year playing, I believe it was Kevin first year, Pachi, a couple other ones, but Pachi always had his memorable picking the Patriots first in the first, third overall in the first round, which is unheard of in the universe.
Quick little story is that we were going to do the draft at the time my work, which I kind of got grandfathered in from my father at Modern Continental in Cambridge, doing a draft on Memorial Drive, and Pachi comes up to my car. We all met at Hunt's. That's hence the name of this league. It's the Hunt's Fantasy Football League. We played football at Hunt's in Melrose, and so we all went there to meet up. And Pachi came up to me, he goes, "Hey, so how does it work with the defense?" And I was like, "Oh, you pick an entire team's defense." In his face, he went like this. You get to pick an entire team's defense? So basically, break it down. He took a defense in the first round, which is just a big no-no for all you non-fantasy people out there and women. Not being disrespectful.
And I should have known right then that he's the biggest idiot on the face of the planet.
League champions, of course. Frankie was the first.
Frank actually ended up going on to play Rossi in the championship. Quite a matchup. I think it was a very fitting matchup for the first year, and Frank, as we all know, ended up winning.
Frank was the champion that year. He was our first champion. And then
Second year, some controversy that year. Marco couldn't afford it because he went to Vegas, and we all know how that went. And so we got a new member, Pat, a good friend of Jason, now a good friend of all of ours. And championship that year, again, more controversy.
There was a tie in the championship between Sean Chase and Billy Delaney.
we weren't prepared for that, obviously, and oh well. We worked it out, though.
And then Pat.
Me and Pat in the championship.
Pat's team won it.
I was over at Marina's house watching the duel, and I get a call from Pachi saying that I had won the... actually, what he said was, I want to know... he said, I want a crispy chicken sandwich from Wendy's or something. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, you just won the Fantasy Football League. I was like, oh, wow, great. And then, you know, it was one of the greatest days of my life.
I don't even know. What was the question again?
The most memorable moments, though, over those 3 years, I'd have to say, mostly belong to me, I think. But I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. I liked the banquet the first year. That was great. Banquet last year was great. There's so many little feuds and, you know, little things that...
First 3 years, the one thing I can recall is me and Joe were at a party. Joe was having a couple drinks. I thought it was apple juice, water, soda maybe. Apparently it wasn't, because we made a trade, but it was just a completely lopsided trade. I got real excited because I figured, hey, it was my shot, took it. Trade was accepted, it was going through, and then the trade got vetoed because of drunkenness. Joe was drunk, apparently. I didn't know. When he fell over, I thought he just tripped. But that's pretty much, that's one of the things that I remember mostly. Anything else?
First big thing, it's Jason Donato Rossi versus the league. Doesn't matter what it is. First year, try to change the kicker points without telling us. You just don't change things mid-year. So we got a whole big argument. Frank actually was a big opponent to that. He wanted to keep things how it was.
I would talk for hours if we were going to sit here and talk about the first 3 years. Are you crazy? I'd be a days and nights ranting and raving. It's getting better and better every year.
A good memory of Frank in the league was one night New Orleans was playing somebody, and we were talking online, and he was freaking out because he needed a big game for Drew Brees. This was the first year. This was actually the year that he won it, and he needed like 5 touchdowns and 400 yards and all this stuff. And I was like, Frank, don't worry about it. It's gonna happen. And usually my guarantee is the kiss of death, but it happened for him. And I just remember him being online with me the entire game, just typing and getting so excited. And it was just a really fun memory of me and Frank just, you know, talking online.
Frank's always been a man who's known how to use words, and basically I always looked at him as someone you probably don't want to go after if you're really trying to call somebody out. I know I didn't really think of him as somebody I'd really want to get into a beef with. I've seen a few times some people